So the question on YouTube is, Alex, what do you think about MERN Stack? Is it good or not for upcoming couple of years, right? That is the question. And MERN meaning MongoDB, Express, React, and or Node.js, right? So I would definitely say no. I would say that in favor of Express.js, you should use Fastify. Or, of course, if you don't want to use Node.js, you can use Bun.js or Dino or something like that, right? Express is obsolete. I would never use an Express again for a new project. So if I want to use Node.js, if I really want to use build an API in Node.js, I would definitely use Fastify. So I would use Fastify for the API. I would not learn Mongo. I would learn Postgres. Postgres is way more useful database than Mongo because it's the most popular database ever. It's everywhere. It's cheap to host. MongoDB, has MongoDB Atlas and stuff like that, right? So Fastify is amazing. Postgres should be something everybody knows. Postgres is absolutely fantastic database for everything. Even when you need JSON-B or JSON type of stuff, like schemaless stuff like MongoDB supports, you can use JSON-B or JSON in Postgres. I would not advise that, but you can use it if you don't know the schema. If you don't want to enforce the table constraints, you can do that, right? React, I would absolutely advise everybody to learn. React is a beautiful, simple Vue library, right? It's so simple that it's crazy. It can get complex like everything else, as every project, when it becomes super huge, then complexity comes from many other places than just the tool, right? So when it comes to MERN Stack, no, definitely not. I think it's some of these things in this stack are obsolete. And when I say obsolete, MongoDB is a beautiful database. I met these MongoDB guys recently. Actually, they gave me this bottle, so you don't think that I hate MongoDB. MongoDB is a beautiful database. I used it when I worked as a team lead at the Technical University of Denmark, and I used it for a lot of stuff that needed fast reads and writes. When we had a lot of I worked for medical. I built some medical software for these medical machines, right? So we had MongoDB was great because it was schemaless. So without Mongoose, keep in mind Mongoose is in a way a contradiction to MongoDB, right? Because MongoDB, the selling point of MongoDB is two things, or one thing first, it has really quick reads and writes, and second is it's schemaless. So there's no tables. You can have a collection called users, and one user can have 2 properties, another one can have 25 properties, right? So Mongoose, the biggest paradox of MongoDB is that community has built Mongoose to make MongoDB look like Postgres or MySQL, which makes no sense, right? So if you need relations, for example, with Mongoose.js, you would use populate. So, since MongoDB is not relational, it doesn't have joins, you would store these 12-byte MongoDB IDs. Each document in MongoDB has this ID, right? And that doesn't work well. It doesn't scale. It's really bad. So Postgres instead of Mongo, Fastify instead of Express, and React is fine. Really, any front-end library you learn is fine. Vue.js is amazing. AngularJS is amazing. It's just very different. Angular is a framework. React is amazing. Stencil.js and all of these tools today technically are really amazing. But you have to know how to write software. So if you can write software, you're going to write great software in any of them. And if you can't, then you're not going to write that no matter what the tool you use, right? Next.js is just server-side rendered JavaScript, right? So So that's basically the response.